Another brick fan here with a look at a Star Wars set. This is Resistance Bomber. This is set 75188, was released in September 2017, has 778 pieces, 5 minifigures, and cost about $110 when it was released. This set is based on The Last Jedi, from the opening scene where these bombers were used to help destroy some New Order capital ships. At first glance, I really think it's a good looking model. I like how the design is done. I think it looks very similar to the ships in the movie. The coloring is good with the mostly gray color palette and then some pops of blue and red there to add some character to the ship itself. I'm a little disappointed in the minifigures. I would have liked to have seen one more minifig. So one more crew person, because looking at the bomber, I think it takes at least 4 crew to man it. There are 2 gunner positions you see in the little pods there, and then a pilot and a bombardier. So one more minifigure would have been good. But we'll get it more into the minifigures in a few minutes. We'll take a closer look at all of those. But let's take a close look at the ship itself. Like I said, the shaping of this ship is really nice. There's a lot of good little details. So from the front, it's a very narrow ship. Very tall ship as well. If you look, the cockpit here on the front kind of pulls out this direction. And looking inside, there are 3 of those printed pieces for controls. You can see a little bit of the inner Technic workings here. You can fit 2 people in the cockpit. There's enough space for 2 minifigures in there. The wings on either side are on friction hinges, but they are held up in position with this clip piece here, so they don't move. There's a lot of weapons, or at least what look like weapon ports, so some pieces here, and in the back here, this might be another weapon or perhaps a sensor down on the bottom. So a very aggressive ship. Looking down here on the side, this is a spring-loaded shooter, and there's one on each side. So that gives a little bit more weapons as well. Taking a closer look at the side, here's all our engines. As you can see, there are 5 smaller engines and 1 larger engine there on the back. There's a gun pod here in the back, which is on a swivel here, so it moves 300, it can move 360 degrees, but there's these other pods in the way, and these have stud shooters on them and can be aimed any direction because they are on Technic pins as well. These little pods open up from the sides here. These are nice printed pieces for the glass, and then you fit a minifigure inside there. So there is a manned pod. You can see the minifigure inside here. There you see a minifigure inside of the gun pod. The one on the lower section of the ship is exactly the same as this one on the upper section. So it provides a rear defense for these bombers, which is a very nice feature. There's another position here, which I believe is where the bombardier sits, right here. Along the top here, there's some stickers to represent some texturing of the ship itself. These in the front, both sides open. This is where you load the bombs, which are Technic ball pieces. The bombs, of course, are stored here in this tall section of the ship, and this piece right here is what actually releases the bombs. So if we push on this, you'll see the bombs fall out of the bottom. And as I mentioned, they're just these Technic ball pieces. And to load them, you open up this section right here and just drop them into the bomber. So it's all hollow in there to hold those bombs. So there is the Resistance bomber itself. Let's take a closer look at the minifigures. As I mentioned in the beginning, there are 5 minifigures included with this set. They include a Resistance bomber pilot, a Resistance bombardier, a Resistance gunner, Vice Admiral Holdo, and Poe Dameron. So let's take a look at the Vice Admiral and Poe Dameron. As you can see, the Vice Admiral is in this gray kind of robe look. Not a lot of detailing there. There's some sculpting and wrinkles, I guess, in the cloak that she's wearing on her front. She definitely has this bright lavender hair, which identifies her pretty easily. Poe Dameron is wearing his flight suit for his X-Wing fighter. He has the rough, unshaven look there, but not a full beard. Then a good hairpiece as well. They both have blaster pistols as weapons. No side printing on either one of these. And then on the back, you see more of this robe or maybe a scarf look on the back of Vice Admiral Holdo. Poe Dameron has the back of his belt there for his flight suit. Both have alternate expressions, as you can see here. It was nice to get these command characters in with this set. Let's take a look at the bomber crew. The bomber crew consists of a pilot, a bombardier, and a gunner. They are distinguished by their different colored helmets. So our pilot has the yellow helmet there on the left. In the center is our bombardier. He's got the green helmet with no visor. And then our gunner, at the end there, she has a blue stripe on her helmet, a little different decoration. All 3 have the exact same uniform as we would expect. So it's a nougat colored jumpsuit here with all of their gear here on the front. So there's the air hose there coming out. There's different straps and belts that they have as well. So a good overall look. Each has their own unique face, of course. So here's our pilot with a pretty neutral expression. The bomber in the middle has a breathing apparatus that he is wearing. And then our gunner there is on the end. All of these helmets look really good. They have printing all the way around them. The gunner and the pilot have the same style helmet, although different printing, of course. And then our bomber has this different style helmet in the sand green color with, looks like a rebel symbol printed on the top here. And some other red trim and stuff around that. The backs of the figures are just the backs of the vests that they wear over their jumpsuits. And as you can see, the pilot and the gunner also have breathing apparatus, and then there's the bombardier without the breathing apparatus. So essentially, these are all the same, with the pilot having a slightly different breathing apparatus than our bombardier, as you see. So a very nice look for all of these figures. Let's move back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the set. Overall, I really like this set. I think it's a good looking vehicle, and like I said in the opening, a good representation of the bomber from the movie. I've got the crew members there stationed in the cockpit, the bombardier's position, and the rear gun there, at least on the top level. The inclusion of the commanders, Vice Admiral Hondo and of course Poe Dameron, was a good inclusion. But as I said in the beginning, I would have liked to have seen one more crew member, perhaps a total of 6 minifigures instead of the 5 that are included. All of the detailing is really nice. A combination of stickers and printed pieces are used to add some additional decoration. There's some good greebling. I like the way that the engines are built, you know, with the piping here and the different round 2x2 bricks make for an interesting look on the engines. The little pops of red and blue striping there mark it as a Rebel vessel. And it is a really good play set. It gives kids an opportunity to put a lot of figures in, use the different laser turrets, stud shooters, the spring-loaded shooters that are in front, as well as the bomb action, is all very good play features. As far as the value goes, the price per piece ratio is not very good, with 778 pieces for $110, but it is a themed set, so I would expect to pay a little bit more because of that. And a lot of the pieces are big, so price per piece is not always the best indication of the value of the set. I think with the play features, the look of the model, and the Star Wars theme, it is reasonably priced. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Star Wars set. I'm going to get going on my next video. Until then, happy building! If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content. If you'd like to see more Star Wars reviews, my Star Wars playlist is up here on the screen.